So we're going to continue the graphing inequalities lesson. So this is the back page. So turn the page around and we're going to get started here. So for 7, the first thing we do is distribute. We're going to draw a line down the center, and 3 times 8x is 24x. 3 times -9 here is -27. You're going to bring down that greater than sign, and then 24x plus 4. We're going to subtract 24x from both sides. Remember, we always subtract the right side from the left side so that our variable is on this side. So we always want to subtract the variable to the left side first. Both 24x's cancel, so we have -27 is greater than 4. So this answer is no solution because -27, if you look at a number line, -27 is somewhere down here and 4 is up here somewhere, right? And this is like 0. So -27 is never greater than 4. So that's no solution, okay? Let's look at number 8. So let's distribute here. That's 10a minus 30 minus 13a is less than or equal to 9a minus 72. We can combine like terms on the left-hand side. So remember, if we're combining like terms here and we're not crossing this line, we're just combining, we're not changing any sign. So we say 10 minus 13 is -3a minus 30 is less than or equal to 9a minus 72, and then we're going to subtract 9a first to this side so that we can get the variable to the left-hand side. That's -12a minus 30 is less than or equal to, that cancels out, we have -72. And then we're going to add 30 to both sides. So -12a is less than or equal to -42. Divide each side by -12. And remember, when we divide by a negative, we flip the sign. So it goes from less than or equal to greater than or equal to. And then we can simplify 42 over 12, right, by dividing by 6. So we have -7 over -2, and a negative over a negative equals a positive. So that's your answer. You're going to put that on the number line. And then this tells you which way to go. So it tells you that you're pointing in this direction, and it's a closed circle because of the equal to sign here. So it's a closed circle, and it's pointing in this direction. Remember, that's why it's important to get the variable on the left-hand side. And now interval notation, we have a bracket because it's a closed circle. Remember, closed circles go with brackets. We take our smallest number, which is 7 over 2, 7/2, and then comma, our largest number. And remember, when there's a line this way, it goes on forever and ever, so it's to infinity, and infinity always gets a parenthesis. Okay, number 9. So let's distribute. Draw a line down the center. Remember here, this is so important. I guarantee you someone's going to still miss this on the test. This is a -7 times 2r and a -7 times 3. So we bring the 8 down, and that's -14r minus 21 is less than or equal to 3r minus 30. We can combine like terms on the left-hand side, so 8 minus 21 is a -13 minus 14r, and just bring everything else down. Now we want to get the variable to this side, so we're going to subtract 3r. Always get your variable to the left-hand side. So we bring down the -13 here. -14 minus 3 is -17r, and then -30. Then we're going to add 13 to both sides. So that way that cancels out, and we're just left with -17r and -17. And then divide each side by -17. Now remember, when we divide by a negative, the sign flips. I didn't even flip the sign. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me do that. I wrote it in a different color and I didn't even flip it. So this way, which means my graph's probably wrong. Okay, so here's 1. It's a closed circle, right? Because we have an equal to sign underneath, which means it's a closed circle, and that means it's also going to have brackets and interval notation, right? Okay, so it's not going that way. So let me erase that. I pre-make these so that way I can just kind of skip through them. And I obviously did it the wrong way. So let's do it this way. Okay, so it's going to point in that direction. And then I'm assuming this is going to be wrong. Yes, so let me erase this. So here, the smallest value here is a 1, and remember it's a bracket, so bracket 1, comma, and the greatest value is infinity, and that always gets a parenthesis. Okay, now number 10, distribute again. So negative 6p minus 24, negative 8p minus 24. So we're going to add 8p to both sides because we want to get the variable on the left-hand side. So we have 2p minus 24 is less than negative 24. Then we're going to add 24 to both sides. Now both of them cancel, right? So notice how, I'm going to go back. Notice how this cancels and that cancels, right? So we just have 2p left on this side is less than or equal to, there's nothing over here, which means it's 0. Nothing is 0. So we have 0 over here. We're still going to divide each side by 2. And remember, when the 0 is on top of the fraction, it equals 0. Okay? So p is less than 0. So we're going to write a 0 on the number line. Open circle because there's no equal to sign, and I'm going to put 0 down here. This tells me I'm going to point my arrow to the left. Okay? What's my smallest value? It's negative infinity. It's going to go this way forever and ever and ever. So negative infinity is my smallest. That always gets a parenthesis, comma, 0 is my greatest number. It does not get higher than this. And that gets a parenthesis as well because it's an open circle. Oh my gosh, not a bracket. A parenthesis. Okay. All right, we're not doing 12, and we're also not doing this. So we just have one more to go. Okay. So let's look at number 11. So the first thing we're going to do, you see how there's a negative in front? That's the same thing as saying a negative 1. So don't forget, we need to distribute that negative to both pieces, which just means the sign inside of these, the signs are going to change. So we have 11x minus 4 is less than or equal to 6x minus 3 plus 5x. Okay, I can combine like terms on this side. 6x plus 5x is 11x minus 3. And then I want to bring my variable to this side, so I'm going to subtract 11x. Now look, both of them cancel out, and we're left with negative 4 is less than or equal to negative 3. Is that true? Well, if I draw a number line, negative 4 is over here, negative 3 is over here, right? And then it's negative 2, negative 1, etc. 0. So if I look at this number line, is negative 4 less than or equal to negative 3? Yes, negative 4 is less than. It's not equal to negative 3, but it is less than negative 3, right? It's smaller. In this case, your answer is all real numbers. Okay, hang on, let me do this. Okay, so I have a couple things to explain here. First of all, this is a true statement. Negative 4 is always less than negative 3. When it's no solution, remember like the last one that was no solution, we left this blank. We can't fill this out. But when it's all real numbers, that means it's going to go forever in both directions, because it means whatever number you plug in on this number line, it's going to be a true statement. Okay, all real numbers. Now, interval notation for this is negative infinity to infinity. That means from negative infinity this way to positive infinity this way, any number will work. Okay, so I want you guys to now do the practice problems that I have for you and see how you do.